Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Ryan, I'm a CPA, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some updates that I got from the EIDL program, as the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Businesses met yesterday, and they had the administrator of the SBA testify before the Senate about some concerns that they had. But first, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And also, please smash that like button. That will help our video get more visibility and, YouTube algorithms and all that stuff. Also, please leave me a comment below on how you're doing, how your business is doing. If you have any questions about anything, I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And, just look forward to hearing from you, interacting with you, engaging with you. The U.S. Senate Committee for Small Businesses had a hearing yesterday, and they had the administrator of the SBA testify before them, and they just were wanting to know what's going on with the EIDL program and the PPP, obviously, and they shared some concerns about the efficiencies of the EIDL program. I mean, some primary frustrations were, why is the SBA taking so long on issuing these funds and processing these funds, and two, why they've been so unresponsive with the public and probably with Congress as well. And also, one that stuck out to me was they were really concerned about the $150,000 cap that the SBA imposed on these loans. When the statute says these loans could be up to $2 million per entity, SBA just kind of randomly placed a $150,000 cap on it. And while the administrator of the SBA had a lot of answers here, like kind of answers, like she was just talking, she had like reasons why these were problems, like kind of excuses, if you will. They mostly make sense to me. Like why is the SBA taking so long to process all these loans? Because they have over 5 million applications to process, right? And also, why have they been so unresponsive? Well, they had to increase their staff from a few hundred people working in the call center to several thousand in a very short amount of time. And so, I mean, from what I know now, from my own experience, if you call the SBA, you will likely get someone on the phone relatively quickly now. Whereas back in early April, that probably wouldn't be the case. So why the $150,000 cap? Her answer for this didn't make much sense to me, but it's because she said it's because when they first started out with the program, they only had $7 billion to allocate for all these businesses that are applying, and they were worried that they would meet that cap really soon, that $7 billion budget. But obviously the program got funded by much more money. They have about $350 billion allocated to that program now. And the reason I'm skeptical of her answer is because they put that cap on, they imposed that cap, I think kind of late April, early May, somewhere around there. And so when they imposed that cap, they already had the additional funding. So it just makes no sense to me. So I'm curious to know, and I will probably contact the SBA myself if they will be removing that cap, and if they do, if folks who would have qualified for a larger loan amount would be able to get that additional loan amounts. So I know a lot of my clients are really frustrated with that. They're expecting more, like a couple $100,000, maybe $1 million, and they got capped at $150K with no warning and no rhyme or reason. And I'll do my best to find out what's going on. So there were a few other data points that were touched during the meeting, such as, the SBA had $350 billion approximately allocated to this program, and so far they've only approved about $80 billion of it. So there's still a lot of funding to go. In my previous video, I thought they had $100 billion in funding, and I was wrong. I probably missed some wave of funding there. So they have about $350 billion there. So my concern earlier was that they would run out of funding, and I don't actually think they will, which is good news. I think everybody was just getting nervous, including myself, since they were taking so long to process these loans. And it's just always in the back of my mind, like, are they going to run out of funding? Are they going to run out of funding? And it looks like they're not going to, which is good. The other thing is they will be continuing to accept applications until September 30th. Right now, they're still currently only taking agriculture applications. However, I do have reason to believe that they will be accepting or reopening the EIDL program to all businesses really soon. Probably, maybe next week. And the reason I think that is because the administrator said that by next week, all loan applications that have been received by the SBA will have been processed by next week. All 5 million loan applications will have been processed by next week. Now, that doesn't mean that they will be approved and funded by next week, but at least all of them will get the email portal, the infamous email portal invites that everyone's talking about. Hopefully, once that happens, once they basically clear out their backlog on that step, they will reopen the portal for all businesses to apply. And so I know I still have some clients that are waiting for that to happen, and it's been almost like 2 months, since they closed that up. I think it's been like 6 weeks. So good news there. I hope they open next week. In the meantime, I'll let you guys know when they do, if you're still looking, if this is a program you're still interested in. Some questions I've been seeing is if you're not an agriculture company and you applied for the loan while they are accepting only agriculture companies, like they send you an email saying, hey, we're only accepting agriculture companies right now, please try later. What I don't know is if you did apply during that time, I'm not sure if you have to apply again when they reopen up. My answer to you is I would just do it anyway. Like, it's not going to hurt if you reapply again. And I've heard this from many SBA agents. If you apply multiple times, it's not going to create multiple applications for you and bog down the system or affect your application. It basically just updates your previous application when you apply a second time. When they reopen, just apply again, and just to be safe. It's not gonna jack your place in line either. So that's some really good news. All applications processed by next week. I hope she stays true to her word. If not, there will probably be hell to pay. So I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Some things I've been thinking about are the reconsiderations for people who got declined the EIDL loan. I think that they're starting to work on the reconsideration applications. So if you got declined the loan, you can write a letter in to have the SBA reconsider your application. And that letter is, the process for that is a different loan officer will read over your application and review it. And so you get a fresh look. And I've been hearing that there have been no processing of those reconsiderations yet. And I think there's about 65,000 of those in queue at the SBA. So I've been hearing that they will start processing those right away. Hopefully they can get through them as quickly as they get through all these applications, the remainder, like 3 million applications in a week. So I want to know what your thoughts are on this program. I know my thoughts have been mostly frustration. Like, this program, they promised up to $10,000 grants. I still don't agree with the whole deal where everybody should be guaranteed $10,000. I mean, I read the CARES Act. It says it shall not be greater than $10,000, which means it's at most $10,000, but that leaves room for any amount in between. My frustration comes with shared the same frustrations with some of the senators, is that this program is taking so long to unveil. The grant is supposed to be within 72 hours of applying, but that definitely wasn't the case. And now some people aren't even getting their grants yet. The SBA are supposed to be issuing the grants without loan approval. And now it seems like they're sending out, well, at least what agents tell me, is that they're sending out the grants and the loan at the same time. And some people are getting their loan documents before they even receive the grant. So it's like, if you're supposed to have the grant without loan approval, then why the hell are people getting their loan documents before they even get the grants? And, that's one thing. The second thing is you're supposed to be getting the grants within 3 days of application. And some people waited like a month, over a month, so that's another thing that's really frustrating. And what I'm really just I'm hopeful that they will get through this really quickly. Like I'm glad that like that's the best news out of yesterday's hearing. I know there's other YouTube videos out there saying that we're gonna get the $10,000 grant, and I'm not sure, but like I didn't see anything like that in the video, in the hearing. You know, like I didn't see them mention that at all. So I don't know where they're getting their information from. I didn't see in the hearing. But the good news that I saw and what I'm hopeful for is that they will process the remainder 3 million or so applications by the end of next week. And then hopefully reopen the portal next week as well, allowing for more businesses to take advantage of this program. That's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. Please let me know what you think. Leave me a like, leave me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good one and take care.